Hey y'all, it's like 7 in the morning. This is like, what, wake and bake talk? I don't know. I don't like titles that are cliche, so this is whatever it is. I just be feeling like I can't respect the cops because, like, y'all are programmed to program people. Like, I want to be, like, real. I just want to say, like, this situation, like, my boyfriend's mom is a cop, but I'm not going to say, like, where we stay and all that. But it's just like my boyfriend's mom is a cop, and she's threatening to throw his clothes out because he's staying there, but like because he wanted to come over to like chill with me because I was like going through shit. Like I literally woke up to my house almost being on fire. His mom at the same time is threatening to throw his clothes out, and like I'm trying to call her, he tried to call her, my mom tried to call her. She's just not answering our calls, and why are you not answering our calls? Number one. Number two, like you don't even like care about what's going on this side. And it's like she thinks I'm toxic for him, but I wrote her a letter like just trying to break down who I am and just like what I do, and that I work for myself and I don't really like answering to other people, but not off the strength that I'm defiant, but off the strength that I really am at a point where I don't want to rely on people. I don't want to feel like, okay, well, I know that this person got me. I don't live like that. Like I live a fast-paced life, so it's like, and like people are always like making judgments or making like analysis, and they think that because they're so like analytical that they are like good people. But if you're a cop and you try to, like, this is my thing, if I go in for questioning, and instead of them saying, oh, you tell me like what happened and then I'll make my analysis, they ask you these like set up questions, and they try to trap you into saying things, that you may not have meant to say, but it may make things seem one way. And then they do these long trials that take years, and information is just being gathered, and sometimes information is not gathered. Like, it's a faulty system that doesn't, it really doesn't have the room to be faulty. Like, if you guys are so hell-bent on protecting and serving, but you guys are antagonizing situations and making situations worse than they probably were to begin with, it's kind of like, how could you as anybody say that you care about the police or you support the police, but other people are like literally dying because of them? Like, and it's not a different force like every what's the name, it's not like it's a different force. Like, it's the police. Like, the police are the same people everywhere you go. Like, the only thing that really changes is the laws, but the people do not change. They have to go through a psychic evaluation, and most of the time they pass the evaluations and they're quote unquote mentally stable for these situations, but then they go home or they leave work and then they're spiraling and doing things that they know they could definitely go to jail for, because they just are like infatuated with the power that they're given. Like, the power to take somebody's life or to take somebody away from their kids, and like that should not be a power that somebody should have. It shouldn't. And the fact that for so long people have just said, okay, well, I'm too scared to say anything, or I'm too scared to do anything, so at the end of the day things are just going to be the way they are. Well, things are not going to be the way they are because you're not doing anything, things are going to be the way they are because people are not coming together and realizing that, okay, wait, I agree with what she said. And even if I don't agree with what she's saying completely, she does have some points, so I will hear her out. Like, you guys are, like, people are so shut out to listening to people who don't have degrees and stuff like that, when in reality, if you have life experience and you have been in certain situations multiple times, it doesn't matter if you, like, read about something or you watch something, like, you still didn't experience it in real life. Like, half of the stuff that you guys claim to be real on the internet or just claim to be so, like, honorable in real life, like, it never is really happening. Like, people are living one life on social media or in real life, and then they're going home and then they're living this other life. And once that other life trickles into the new, like, their real life, it's like, oh damn, well, now everybody knows that I'm, you know, a piece of shit. It's like, well, instead of just being sneaky whenever, you know, people are not around, or just doing things that you know people would not let you do if they were around, how about you just practice being like somebody who you would feel super comfortable around? Like, you're telling me that when you wake up in the morning as a police officer, you would be comfortable with yourself in a room? Like, they make it seem like they deal with so much stuff, but this is not something that you just, like, fill out paperwork for and just become a cop for. You have to go to school for it. You have to wake your ass up every day and say, yes, I want to do this. So it's a commitment. It's a big commitment. Like, you're not gonna be able to plug that in there.
Oh.
You have to just
Oh,
leave it in.
this is a.
Yeah, just leave it in that type of base. Like, somebody made a good point of the fact that there's no songs out there called "Fuck the Fire Department." Like, it's important to me because, like, literally this morning I, like, woke up and my my family, like, was cooking, but he's like, I don't know, he's like high or something, and he, like, almost burnt the house down. This is my problem. I said something to my mom earlier yesterday about him doing that, and she kind of ignored me and brushed me off. And then 3-4 o'clock in the morning, he's doing the same thing, and I wake up to the smoke alarm going off and the ambulance pulling up. Like, I don't necessarily want people to do everything I say, but whenever I'm, like, coming to you, like, to, like, woman to woman, or just kind of, like, really being vulnerable with you, and you just kind of, like, straight up, like, not even, like, acknowledge what I said, it's kind of like, well, as a really, like, independent person, I just feel like I can't give you my time anymore. Like, it's not even anything like, oh, well, you're op, or you're dead to me. Like, I mean, I might say that if I'm upset, but it's just kind of like, at the end of the day, you being you is, like, the worst it could ever be. Like, me being me, I at least have so much, like, consciousness that I'm not upset at why people do the things that they do. You guys are, like, really upset at the fact that, you know, people do these things that they do, but then you don't really know why you do what you do. Like, people are like, yeah, I say the Pledge of Allegiance and the Bill of Rights says justice for all, but what y'all think about Chris Rock's, like, I just don't get it. Like, y'all be saying that y'all are not judgmental and y'all are positive and this, that, and the third, but then when drama happens, it's like the first thing that everybody wants to talk about. Like, instead of, like, talking about science and, like, the new, like, things that people are finding out about enlightenment, people are just kind of, like, talking about this, like, false reality shit, because at the end of the day, like, the media is not something that happens naturally. Like, really think about setting a camera up like this right now. I'm setting a camera up and there's no antics, but thinking about setting up a camera, and then these people have been making the show for months and there's scripts and stuff, and you guys still eat it up as if it's real life. it's very weird to me. Um, it's a sad cycle that we're all going through. That like we feel like, well, I do want a future, but at the end of the day, like the world's going to shit, so turn up. Like I'm a victim of that shit myself. Like I'm not saying I wanna just try and like numb the pain with drugs, but when you're in a situation like I am, in a neighborhood where it's super easy to get weed and it's not as easy to get therapy, which I actually do have, which I'm blessed to have, but it's very interesting to me that they only sell certain types of processed ass food in my neighborhood, and then you go out other places and the food is like the freshest you've ever tasted. You know, like the meat is a lot different because they are like actually killing the turkeys and chickens in a humane way. And the only reason I said turkeys and chickens is because like that's the only thing I eat. So when you kill something with feelings, you're taking on the hormones and the feelings of the animal. I don't know if you guys know that, but when you guys are eating chicken sandwiches and then you may feel sick, I mean, at the end of the day, that animal probably was really in distress when it died. So you ate something that was in distress. Like, I don't think people think about it like that, you know? No, it's okay. Um, I don't know, like, people say overthinking is a bad thing, but I feel like if you do it in a healthy way where you can, like, really just bring yourself to be at peace with things, that's, like, a whole different, like, that's a gift, you know? Like, it sucks always having to be the strongest one at the end of the day, but it helps. I mean, like, I'm going through stuff at a fast rate, but it's definitely something that like the next person wouldn't be able to do it, so I should give myself my props for that. But this just kind of this like cycle of I'm just gonna do what I want because I'm grown. Like people really need to start like understanding that until you really love like the skin that you're in, you're not grown. Like it's not about what you acquire. It's not about how fast you acquired it. It's really just about saying, okay, well, at the end of the day, like, I don't have to call anybody tonight. Um, I don't have to go spend this money just to go make myself feel better. Like, it's really just about saying, well, damn, could I just go a whole day, you know, just not being on my phone? Probably couldn't. Could I go a whole day without eating food that's not man-made? I mean, can I go a day without eating man-made food? Like, do you guys have that discipline? Yes or no? And if you do, you're probably going to be like the one who survives, because like survival is really important, and in other places like that's all people are doing is surviving, and then it's like here you have people laying around and going on live streams and YouTube and making money and never feeling like they have to work ever again, when in reality working for yourself is something you should really want to do. The second that you stop feeling like you have to do stuff for yourself is the second that you've given up. That's just what it is. You can't have all this money and say, all right, well, I'm just either going to hold on to it or I'm going to buy everything I want and see what happens. Because you'll buy that stuff and it won't help because it'll complicate you. That's why people say the more money you get, the harder it gets, because you're getting all this money and you're trying to figure out where it's all coming from. That's going to stress you out regardless. Like, it stress anybody out. So just be mindful. Be mindful that at the end of the day, you're okay with being in your own skin. Because so many people aren't. I feel like I should end it there.